What's going on, everybody? Ryan the Mighty Quinn here on the Cornerman_MMA. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, and share and comment. I've been getting a lot of good feedback lately. A little good, bad, and indifferent, so to speak, with some of my opinions on things, but I'm glad that we're getting traffic. Um, got my opinion on another upcoming fight right here at UFC 281, the main event between Alex Pereira and Israel Adesanya. Now, before I go into it, I have to let you know I really like this fight for Adesanya. That's who I'm leaning towards for my pick. However, I'm not completely sold. I'm just like I feel like that's the consensus right now with the MMA community. Will he? Can he? Should he? Won't he? That's how we feel about this fight. I think that's why everyone is so amped about it because there's a lot of mystery here. Alex only his third fight in the UFC. I think he's got a 4-1 record in MMA. You know, Izzy's just the dominant kingpin at middleweight right now with a lot of other prospects or not prospects contenders around him. So there's a lot of mystery to this fight. That's why it's so intriguing to us. It doesn't have the same aura as two steamroll. Obviously there's always mystery. A fight's a fight. Things happen. So, but there's a lot of mystique here that we got to break down. Now, can Izzy pull this fight off at Madison Square Garden next weekend? He can. I think it's very difficult, but if I was his coach, this is the game plan that I would put in place against a calculative, good for counter striking Alex Pereira. And if you notice, I haven't even brought up that this is a rematch from kickboxing. Well, it's not a rematch. This is mixed martial arts, not kickboxing. Um, so I'm not really putting that in here. I know that Alex won. I do think Alex is the more dominant striker. However, there's stuff that happens in a cage that you cannot do in a ring, that a presence in the cage and experience in the cage brings to you. And I think that is what Izzy needs to rely on here. Now, getting into that, where am I going with presence in a cage? Fighting area control is a real tactic. It's a real scoring criteria in mixed martial arts. It's like the third row down in the tiebreakers. I think that's how Izzy wins this fight. Now, I'm going to do the definition of it straight from the ABC Unified Rules, just so we can go forward with what we know what it is. Fighting area control is assessed by determining who is dictating the pace, place, and position of the match. Fighting area control Fighting area control, unquote, shall only to be assessed if effective striking/grappling and effective aggressiveness is 100% equal for both competitors. Okay, so what does this mean? Now, the best example recently that I can think of with fighting area control or being dominant, Joe Anderson Brito a couple weeks ago in his last fight against, I knew I was going to forget his name. Against Lucas Alexander. Go look that fight up. Now, there was only beginning cage. Now, what did he do? He stalked him down. He used his lateral movement. And by the way, when I'm saying what Joe Anderson did, this is what Izzy needs to do. He stalked down Lucas, and then he used his lateral footwork. He didn't press him up against the cage. He didn't press him up against the cage. He kept him flirting and hovering between the cage and between that 3-foot mark that the UFC has when they're putting the logo in around the octagon. So he more or less kept Lucas on his heels. That's what Izzy needs to do here. He can't press too hard, like you saw with Adesanya's last opponents in the UFC. With Sean Strickland obviously did it. He didn't have a very good stance or steps going forward with it. Bruno Silva, they pressed really hard. They were trying to get inside that telephone booth. You hear a lot of coaches say, fight him inside the telephone booth. What they mean by that is getting close and use those weird angle punches to the body and the head. First of all, Izzy doesn't fight like that. So I don't think that he should change his swing now that he's in the majors, like Dean Thomas says all the time. I think that he needs to just point him in that range where he keeps Alex in a stance, so to speak, in a presence where he can't lean into those striking counter hooks like he did against Strickland, like he did to load up on his combinations against Bruno Silva. Now, that being said, Izzy likes to throw the spinning stuff. That's a big no-no tonight, or the night of the fight. I can't remember the last time I saw Anderson Silva comes to mind. as far as precision and accuracy when it comes to striking, and that stuff's going to be timed. I'm sure that stuff is timed. You know, he's also he's training very well with he's training with Glover Teixeira, one of the most aggressive fighters in the UFC. So he's going to get that timing down where if you press too hard, bing, 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 that's all coming at you. So he's really got to be careful with the aggression as far as the spinning stuff that Izzy likes to throw. I wouldn't throw any spinning stuff, but to contradict what I was just saying, don't change your swing once you get there. I think maybe a spinning back kick to the body to maybe push him flush against the fence. That's what I would look for, to create a little distance, to close the distance like a magnet, if that makes sense. That's what I would look for if I'm Izzy. And now once he's there, now if this fight goes the way that I think that Izzy should do it, going to be some boos. The New York crowd is not going to like that. This is Madison Square Garden. They want to see Rock'em Sock'em Slogger Knockers. But that's not the way to win this fight against the most dangerous striker in the Ultimate Fighting Championship right now. At UFC 281, he needs to just pick his points, Israel Adesanya. Rights to the body, jabs to the body, front kicks, even the point kicks are scary, like the gimme nothing leg kicks, because if you saw Alex in his last few fights, he's so good with answering with a kick of his own, high and low. So I think that Izzy, this is where he's just keep it straight down the middle and poise. He is very good at staying poised. He does it very well against Robert Whittaker. So he should keep that, but he's going to have to come forward a little bit, use that. This is how the taller guys, I like to use that range too, right here, move himself in. Some feints, but I wouldn't use too many feints. You don't want to close up his stance that much. I don't expect him to see any wrestling from him. Plus, Alex's wrestling defense looked pretty good in his last fight against Bruno. Probably from training with Glover. So, that's more or less what I got. Just the light point scoring. Like I said, it's going to be very calculative. Casuals may not like this if the way Israel goes about it, if Israel wins this way, which I think he does need to do. Israel Adesanya needs to show that area control. I keep calling it cage control. It's not cage control. Cage control is against the actual cage. Duh. He needs to keep that fighting area control. He needs to dictate where the fight is going. Now, keep in mind when it comes to scoring, if he does dictate and go forward, but Alex is counter-striking and just scoring, then that's Alex's fight. Alex is winning. It's a damage game. It's an impact game. It's a connection game, So that's why he's got to be careful with keeping those strikes to keep Alex away with the counter stuff. Even those counter kicks, Alex is even going to be dangerous against the fence, with the counter kicks. It's going to be a great fight to watch. I really hope that some of the casuals don't get upset, because there's going to be a lot of game planning here. No one's going to want to be making mistakes. This is going to be a chess match when we want to see checkers, or when you want to see checkers. I can't wait to see this fight. It's going to be a great night of fights overall. Really can't wait. So tune in. Again, this is the Cornerman MMA. We'll have a review after. We got a lot of stuff coming up the next week. I'm going to be debating with King Mo on whether House of Dragons is better than Game of Thrones. We're going to have to tune in for that one. I'm not giving anything else away. But, tune in on Tuesday, guys. This Tuesday, I don't know if we're going live. It's election day. But we'll have something. It just won't be live. All right, guys. Like, subscribe, and share. Have a good one. Bye.